Welcome back to Bentonville, Arkansas for the 2025 World Food Championships Final Table, presented by Sam's Club.
Round 2 began with 6 competitors who advanced out of Round 1. Ricardo Viesca Gutierrez had the high score of 97.875, leading a strong field of hopefuls heading into the third round of competition known as Taste and Recreate.
This challenge actually kicked off last night at Mezzaluna Restaurant, where our 6 remaining competitors were asked to taste one of Chef Zerke Peters' signature dishes, cappellacci del granchio, which is a light springtime pasta stuffed with crab, stuffed with ricotta cheese, stuffed with a little bit of thyme that goes in there as well. According to Chef Peters, it's a simple dish, but technically demanding. To mix things up, our competitors were given a basket of ingredients to use, which contained 4 extra items that were not in the recipe. Diabolical? Yes, but also delicious. Our chefs needed to decide what was in and, of course, what was out of that dish. We also had the chance to catch up with Chef Peters himself to get his take on how to best approach this challenge.
It's a very delicate dish, if I might say, the cappellacci di granchio that we have on the menu. You got that light butter sauce with a lemon twist on it. There was an herb that's supposed to be used, thyme. Some people use it in the reduction or in the sauce, I think, but it was really part of the filling. For me, using that dish that I chose, because you do need knife skills, you do need some skills of recreating the pasta, and then obviously the cooking techniques and timing. So I think most of them nailed it right on, but then 3 went to the next round and 3 unfortunately had to leave. So that's part of the competition world, and here we are, But I wish them all the best of luck and getting that grand prize.
All right, let's get to some highlights. The first finalist came firing out of the gate, and it was Chef Jack McMurray. His background as a 2-time bacon champion lends itself to salty, smoky flavors and super high temperatures. This dish, as mentioned earlier, requires a more gentle approach, as there are elements of sweet potato and lemon, the delicate nature of the sauce that requires several steps in the cooking process. The judges dug in and gave their feedback to Big Jack Mack and his interpretation of the dish.
The pasta thickness seems to be very close to perfect.
Talking about my 2 sous chefs, and it's like the challenge of the challenge is not outthink this dish, and we argued with that a little bit, and then we realized that's the challenge. Just do it with it. It's simply upgrade a couple things, and we had fun with it. That's the bottom line. So I love that.
Next, into the fire was Javon Brewer, who wowed the entire room and judges yesterday with his incredible skills and a pastry dough created in record time. Today, he showed why he's the chef category champion, stepping up to the plate and delivering a stunning recreation of Chef Peters' Mezzaluna masterpiece. The local favorite, Arkansas native and world dessert champion Emily Bench was next with her take on the signature dish. The feedback from the judges was direct and straightforward. She admitted to the crowd her lack of cooking something like this before, with a reaction that was a bit understated. But her pastry skills appear to translate really well in her pasta making. Batting cleanup in the Round 2 challenge was the U.S. Coast Guard's Zach Hasselett. It was clear that his training and world travels taught him resilience, persistence, and precision. Clearly, he would need all those attributes and more to nail this dish. Let's see how his presentation went and hear his reaction from after leaving the judges' table.
The sweet potatoes, most of them were cooked right. A couple of them still felt raw.
The feedback I got, really good. Moving forward, learning something new. Kind of getting some insight on some really kind of like the nuances of what the components did in the dish, what they brought to it, how they were cooked, what they were cooked in. We worked very efficiently today, and I'm looking forward to the results.
The 5th competitor to enter the arena was Colin Hilton, who wowed the judges yesterday with a strong opening dish in the retail gourmet competition. Colin showed extreme confidence walking in on day 2. His delivery and talking with the judges and the sheer beauty on his plate was impressive. The judges were clearly excited as well.
Yeah, so thank you. Great execution. Congratulations. You made it this far in this competition. Thank you for coming to Mezzaluna yesterday.
Rounding out the Challenge 2 group was yesterday's highest scoring chef, Ricardo Viesca Gutierrez. He's been impressing everybody at Brightwater throughout this weekend with his powerful flavors and delicate touch. His taste and recreate dish was no different. He was challenged by Chef Peters to explain his process and stood firm on his development of the flavors on the plate.
Okay, that's what you did? Yeah. Great job. Good, good. That's exactly what it was for.
One thing about chefs all making the same exact dish is that we're gonna have pretty much a theme that runs through from the judges. A couple of things that we saw happening today. One, not salting enough. Salting is such an important part to that dish. When you're going from your pasta water into the wine and butter that's cooking together, making sure you're seasoning as that dish runs through. Recreating a dish and describing that to a chef is not an easy task, but these judges were very, very direct in what they had to say about each dish. Remember, we're talking about salt, we're talking about that lemon that goes into that dish, and then unfortunately with that crab, we had a crab shell in Gutierrez's dish. There were a couple of mistakes that were made throughout, and you could see in Gutierrez's face, he really felt as if he wasn't going to advance in this competition.
In the end, we missed a couple of ingredients. Talking with our competitors, everyone forgot ingredients. So that's we're in the same boat. And also, let's see what happens. If we manage to make the next round, we are ready. We have all the equipment. If not, then tomorrow we go home.
So there you have it. 6 finalists and an award-winning chef providing inspiration to create magic on a plate. Let's see how the judges scored it and see who will be moving on to Challenge 3.
Round 2 ended with the cream rising to the top. In third place, dessert champion Emily Bench. In second place, Ricardo Viesca Gutierrez. And in first place, Colin Hilton with a high score of 94.875.
Challenge number 3 was titled My Culinary Journey. Each of our 3 finalists were tasked with presenting their life's journey through the culinary world on a plate. Whether they chose to share a story of their humble beginnings, expressed their motivations to enter food sport, or simply shared their personal vision for where they hope to be heading next. But this wouldn't be food sport if there wasn't a unique wrinkle brought into play as well. Unknown to the 3 finalists before getting their instructions, they were told they would need to incorporate a new mystery ingredient into the dish. Choosing from a table that contained 5 unique items, each of our 3 finalists was asked to select one item to be incorporated into their personal story. Let's show you how this intense challenge unfolded with $150,000 on the line. First up for Challenge 3, he finished at the top of the leaderboard in our first challenge and finished second in the standings during Challenge number 2, where he also received a bonus point from Chef Peters for his attention to detail and super execution. He would need to incorporate pineapple as his mystery ingredient. Our first finalist was Ricardo Viesca Gutierrez. Second to step in front of the judges and explain their culinary story was dessert champion Emily Bench, coming off a 6th place finish in round 1 and just edging into the final ahead of a tough group of competitors to finish 3rd in Challenge 2. She was tasked with using maple syrup as her additional ingredient. The third and final contestant to enter the room and present their culinary journey story was Colin Hilton from Indianapolis, Indiana. Colin, fresh off an amazing victory in the Taste and Recreate Challenge with a score of 94.875, was given a mystery ingredient of cashews. He was poised and ready to continue a weekend filled with impressive dishes that drew rave reviews visually and for their complex flavors. Okay, enough already. Let's get to the good stuff. Who won this damn thing and walked out of Bentonville with a check for $150,000 and a cool trophy to put on their mantle? Let's talk results. Finishing in third place with lots of family and friends in the crowd was our current dessert champion, Emily Bench, proving that chefs focused on sweet can certainly deliver on the savory side as well. In second place, after telling an emotional story about his food inspiration and his upbringing in Mexico City, this individual had an impressive showing all weekend, including the highest score in round one. Our second place finisher was the sensational Ricardo Viesca Gutierrez. And that leaves us with one. Our new 2025 World Food Champion is Colin Hilton. Colin impressed the judges all weekend. He showed an impressive understanding of how to balance flavors from the various influences he had experienced in his life, from Italian to Asian, and all the unique experiences he had while perfecting his craft in Northern California as a young chef. The flavors in this dishes were unique and different. It simply left the judges begging for more. He showed the perfect balance of art and technique that define a great chef. Congratulations to Colin Hilton, 2025 World Food Champion. I'll see you this October in Indianapolis.